कौन है हजरत अब्बास इब्न अली, जिनके लिए तहज्जुद में मौला ने दुआ मांगी हो। वो अली जिनके हसन हुसैन जैसे बेटे हों और कहें परवरदिगारा एक ऐसा बेटा दे जो करबला में मेरी नुमाइंदगी करे। आज अली मांग रहे हैं।
I was supposed to wear that shit last week. I was gonna go to that. You want our brother? No. I had one like we had to get that. I wanted you to have that one. The one that you gave my brother? Yeah, I have 2 sets of that. This is my brother. He's not wearing that today. He's wearing another one like this, but it's gray. It's not Pakistan. It's not gray. It's like grayish from blue. Yeah, what? Good Muhammad. He's wearing that same one that I was trying to get yesterday. Remember? Remember what Sharky I was going to get it? See, that's a shirt y'all are going to give me. That's a good thing, man. I was going to get that shirt yesterday. It's a good thing I didn't get it. the structures that we don't right here. That's my stuff. That's my stuff. Where are you sitting? Right there. There's enough room. Right here? Yeah, there's enough room. Come on.
الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين ورحمة للعالمين وعلى أهل بيته المنتجبين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرزق وطهرهم تطهيرا. Dear brothers, first of all, on this very happy occasion, it would be a privilege for me to extend congratulations of the Eid al-Fitr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of you success and all of the Muslims. And at the same time, we have been thanking Allah, and we should thank Him much more for granting us the opportunity to fulfill our responsibility of fasting. The month of Ramadan, the month of purification, the blessed occasion of prayer, of worshiping, of communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator. And alhamdulillah, many of us have been fortunate of having the occasion and the opportunity to pray. And many of us have been able to finish the recitation of the Holy Quran, which is one of the very special opportunities and occasions to recite the Holy Quran and benefit from it. I hope we fulfill this responsibility, and we have, if not several times at least, have been able to finish the Holy Quran, reciting, trying to understand, trying to benefit from the guidance, especially the Holy Quran, of course, is not just for recitation, to recite it, but to benefit from the guidance of this very blessed book, one of a kind. Quran itself is a miracle, is a mu'jiza, because it's the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so on, many other responsibilities. How much we have been successful to purify ourselves. How much we have been able to achieve discipline. How much discipline. How much progress we have achieved in the month of Ramadan. These are all matters of reflection, of thinking, of evaluation, the degree and the level of our success. In the Qutba, or in the prayers and qunut of today's prayer, we recited several times the small prayer, dua, and we know what we have been talking, what we have been expressing. First of all, acknowledging, testifying to the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ahl al-kibriya wal-azama. Nothing greater, higher, exalted, and holy than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is our testimony. The only creator, and it continues, His blessings, His mercy, His forgiveness, all of the qualities, attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The point to which I'm going to draw your attention, and to the khilani, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that because of the day of Eid, which He has made the day of happiness to all the Muslims, because of that day, He would do what to us? أن تدخلني في كل خير أدخلت فيه محمدا وآل محمد. This expression is a challenge by itself. We are asking Allah to include us in all the virtues and good things in which He has included Muhammad and all of Muhammad. The achievement of Muhammad and all of Muhammad in this world is an example. In all walks of life, in all the matters of life, what we are asking Allah is that He would, through His grace and His mercy, grant us, give us the ability to achieve all that Muhammad and all of Muhammad achieved. Is that what we truly want to be, to achieve? To achieve and to get, to acquire whatever Muhammad and all of Muhammad achieved and acquired and worked very hard for it. Muhammad and Ali Muhammad salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhim ajma'een, the work they did, the degree of their worship, their attitude towards this, the worldly achievements, affairs, the worldly gains, their lives, the way they live, those are the things that we pray to Allah, that we should also behave, should also act, should have the same manner as those holy people had. And the second phrase, that we request, pray to Allah to get us out of all the wickedness, all the bad things that He had graciously taken Muhammad wa all Muhammad out of those things. You didn't mind one salawat. These are the challenges, in fact. We simply pray, but prayer has to come out of one's heart. We should really mean what we are trying to say, to express to Allah. We want to achieve what the Holy Prophet and Ahlul Bayt achieved. And we want to stay away from all that the Holy Prophet and his family stayed away. Those are our objectives, our goals. And it is because of the blessings and the mercy and the grace of Allah that He has provided those good examples for us. If those examples, the holy personalities, the holy imams, the prophets, they were not there, we would not be having any example to follow. Who to follow? Humankind. Millions of them, thousands of them, with all kinds of aims, ambitions, intentions, dealings, behaviors. Who to follow? We would get confused. If Allah, through His grace, had not been providing guidance and practical examples for humanity, we would have been, humanity as a whole, today, would have been where? It's obvious. Although mankind as a whole do not acknowledge the very fact from which they have been benefiting, acquiring knowledge, making progress in knowledge, although they do not acknowledge it, but the fact is there. If these personalities were not there, the chain of the prophets and messengers were not there, with their knowledge, with their wisdom, with the divine guidance, humankind today would still have been in the chain. No knowledge, nothing. You could see that they, humankind, have been all the time benefiting from the knowledge, from the guidance, from the wisdom of the prophets, the messengers, from divine knowledge. It's a challenge, and it is a fact that without these people, without the Anbiya, humankind would have been today nowhere. But the sad thing about it is that humankind is not grateful. They do not acknowledge. And to their own disadvantage, they go astray. And it is a loss for humankind, for people themselves, for no one else. All of these achievements, all of these wisdoms and knowledge that Anbiya has been bringing to mankind, to make it practical, to achieve the qualities that they had achieved, takes work, labor, hard work, sincerity, and maintaining balance. The greatest challenge for humankind in this world has all the time been, and still it is, to maintain balance between the spiritual side of life and the material side of life. In Islam, we alhamdulillah have examples. La tanta nasibuka min ad-dunya. Do not forget your share of this world, but whatever is provided for you, is waiting for you in the next life, is the real gain and the real benefit. We have hadith saying that the mu'min and a muttaqi, when you see him in this life, working for the worldly life, it looks as if he is going to live in this world forever, to eternity. He is busy, planning, working hard, day and night. And if somebody looks at him, he may think that this person has no intention of leaving this world because of his hard labor, because of his long-term plan, the system. And if you see on the other side, when you see from his spiritual side of life, he will look to you, you will find out, and you will think that this person is going to leave this world any minute, any second. Because from the other side you will find out that he has no interest of leaving or attaching himself or working or having the intention or giving a lot of significance to the material gain. This, no doubt, is a very difficult task to maintain. When we think of our worldly achievements, whatever we have achieved, we will find out deep in our soul how dear those things are to us. Our friends, our worldly gains, our properties, our businesses, our savings, our children, the family. Nobody nobody wants to leave any of those things. And if you think further, the whole of our brain is entangled within those involvements. When it comes to prayer, we struggle to set our minds free for a little second to be able to realize some of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the problem is our minds are not free. It's tangled, no freedom. It from one side to the other side, from this worldly matter to the other one, and from that one to the third one and to the fourth one. As a result, our prayer is a mess. We do not pray. In fact, we are thinking, planning about the worldly affairs. The task of achieving and measure some degree of faith, of the realization of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the most difficult tasks. If someone achieves comparison to looking into the other side, if one succeeds to achieve some degree of faith in Allah and some degree of the freedom of mind, things will be totally different. We can see those differences in the life of our Imam, the life of Amir al-Mu'mineen, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. But for that matter, any of the other Imams, Imam Zaidi al-Abidin, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, when he would decide to make wudu for prayer, his attitude would totally change because of his feeling that he would be presenting himself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is not an easy thing to present oneself in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His attitude would totally change, and whatever would happen in the family, he would not pay any attention. One of his children fell into the canoe, the area where the fire is burning. One of the children fell in the fire. He paid no attention. Imam did not pay any attention. In Imam Ali's case, the case of the arrow crawled out of his leg, and he did not realize. These are some of the results of the condition of the freedom of one's mind from worldly entanglements. For that we need prayer. For that purpose, for the achievement of those accomplishments, we need prayer. The month of Ramadan is for prayer. The whole night is for ihya. Ihya means to stay awake. Stay awake doing what? Of course, thinking. Trying to set one's mind free. Trying to realize some of the greatness of Allah. To give the mind a chance to achieve something, to set itself free. We have one of these virtuous acts of worship in the month of, recommended to be accomplished, achieved in the month of Ramadan. What do we know of the ibadah called i'tikaf? What is i'tikaf and what part is it? I'tikaf is 3 days of fasting, consists of 3 days of fasting in a mosque, in a central mosque, going nowhere, just stay in the mosque. Worship Allah day and night. Well, if you see the form of it, it's just to fast and stay there. Don't go out. But the purpose is to isolate yourself from the worldly affairs and matters so that you achieve a degree of freedom, the ability to think, to set yourself free and realize the greatness of Allah. We also know the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to the cave of Hira in worship and thinking the most precious blessings of Allah in us is the ability to think. The Holy Quran full of recommendations in the strongest form and in the strongest manner to think. Those who do not think have no value. you must think, understand. If you think, you will realize the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Think and act. Thinking without action will not bring balance and a lot of achievement. We have to combine thinking with action. We have to try to realize, understand the depth and dimension of the Islamic system. It's almost unthinkable, impossible that a man would become successful just by himself alone. All the achievements one could achieve just one person, not possible. Human beings as a whole have to cooperate, to come together, work together, cooperate, to struggle to find out the truth, implement it, follow it, and achieve it. And especially the aspect of life, especially to the Muslims. The Muslims have all the means. The Islamic system guarantees them with provides them all the guidance they need for cooperation, coming together, working together, to ask how everyone is doing, the conditions of every Muslim around, the miseries, the troubles, the sufferings of the Muslims today around the world, in all forms of shapes. Our responsibility, fasting is fine, one of the obligations. These other obligations you are responsible to achieve and accomplish. The responsibility of easing some of the sufferings of the Muslims around the world, especially in the Middle East, the Bosnia, the Palestine, Kashmir, Afghanistan, India, all over, suffering, what we could do for them. We cannot ignore. These are all our responsibilities. And at the same time, our own difficulties and problems, the cultural problems, issues we are facing here, in this part of the world. Will the next generation survive? What is the guarantee that they will survive as Muslims?